Big water doesn't always mean big fish. But when it does, and it's the target of a commando raid, watch out.
I got one. Get out of here.
Today, Steve Pennaz goes head-to-head with a young gun touring pro with something to prove. Who's gonna catch more fish and be today's top commando?
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos. I used to fish this lake a lot when I was a kid for walleye. I haven't been on this one at least 4 years, probably 5, and I keep hearing how much it's changed. So it'll be interesting to be back on an old friend, but it almost feels new today.
Oh, sure.
We're on the road to another legendary commando battle, and Steve Pennaz has his hands full because in the right seat is one of the toughest young sticks on the Bassmaster Elite Series, Berkeley pro Josh Bertrand.
On the drop shot where you're fishing it and even if you're casting it, it's more of a vertical presentation because you're fishing it still with your rod tip up a lot of times.
Yep.
And your line is coming down
So
vertically.
you're using drop shot.
Yeah, that's a little bit of drop shot. But when we pull out your technique with that grub, I'm gonna go to it
I didn't
extra
tell you I was
level
using
here.
grubs. How'd you know I was using grubs?
Dude, I got my sources. I know what you're using.
Our destination is one of the largest natural freshwater lakes in North America that right now is easily one of the hottest smallmouth bass fisheries in the country.
This is a lake I've never been to before, but it's been a lake on my bucket list. I've always wanted to come here.
Josh is a great fisherman coming out of the Southwest. He's an up-and-comer on the tournament trail. This guy fishes probably 20, 25 events a year. He understands competitive fishing, he understands bass. This is going to be a challenge today.
On any commando mission, timing is key. And today the guys are counting on a post-spawn feeding binge to put some big brownies in the boat. That and an arsenal of knowledge and experience.
My favorite way to catch bass in the entire world is a drop shot rig, and I know smallmouth absolutely love a drop shot. I'm starting with a Fusion 19 #1 drop shot hooked, 610 medium light Abu Garcia Ike rod. I'm using 8-pound Berkeley Nanofill mainline with a 6-pound 100% fluorocarbon leader. I've got a new Berkeley Pro Twitch Tail minnow and a new color and a 3/16 ounce weight. That's my presentation for today.
I'm going out to win today, and I've got the pattern right now. This is the new 610 Ike rod from Abu Garcia. It's a medium light, perfect for smallmouth. I've got 6-pound 100% fluorocarbon. This water out here is so clear, I want the fluorocarbon not only because it sinks, because it's nearly invisible. I'm gonna be running a brand new bait from Power Bait called the Pro Grub. Look at that, baby. I wanna eat it right now. I'm gonna throw it out long distances over some rock reefs. I'm gonna bring it back on a steady retrieve. These smallmouth will come up and smash this bait. And this is the rig that's gonna take the mighty Josh Bertrand down today. We've already got some west-southwest winds blowing. Forecast was 5 to 10. I think it's blowing almost 10 already.
Yeah.
So this is a big bowl. This is a big lake. It's almost 20 miles across here, so it could get rocking and rolling. So tell you what.
All right, let's see what we got.
These two classic smallmouth presentations are best suited for two different locations. For the drop shot, Bertrand is looking for isolated rock humps like this one with a steep break into deep water.
Oh, dude.
There's the first one right there. He's not a giant.
Green pumpkin?
Yes, sir. Little smallmouth. Here he comes.
Nice jump.
All right.
There you go, dude.
Look at that. Right on. Little guy, about 2 pounds. Beautiful. Real wide.
So these fish are shallow. I mean, we're in what, 9 feet?
Yeah, we came up a little higher. We came up to the top of this reef where you can actually see bottom. And there must be some fish up here cruising, looking for crawfish and some bait.
Josh has already caught 1 fish on a green pumpkin. I've been fishing the pink white. I'm gonna make a switch. I'm gonna go to a chartreuse. If he gets another bite, I'm gonna go dark. But until he gets another bite, I'm gonna stay light. I wanna provide 2 colors in the color spectrum.
No! Number 2.
No!
First cast on this spot. Almost under the boat too.
Good fish?
He's about the same as that last one. He's not that big. All right, I'm gonna swing him. All right. Good call. You.
Number 2 on the green pumpkin, baby.
Yeah, number 2 on that. Boy, look at that little chunker. He's got some cool markings on his head. A lot of blue hue. Right on.
30 minutes into the game, and the young gun is teaching the veteran a smallmouth lesson. But Steve Pennaz isn't about to quit.
Is that a stud or what?
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Power Pole, shallow water anchor, swift, silent, secure. Abu Garcia, for life. Vraybill, trusted gear since 1938. Berkeley Power Bait, fish bite and won't let go. And by Quebec Outfitters, plan your ultimate fishing trip today.
There's the first one right there.
On one of the hottest smallmouth fisheries in North America, Berkeley pro Josh Bertrand has the jump on Steve Pennaz. But it should come as no surprise to anybody. Bertrand has been turning heads on the national tournament scene for the past few years as part of a surge of young Western bass fishing talent.
First cast, 3rd time in a row.
Dude, just quit that. Front boating me.
Ooh, that's a better one too.
Got a big one?
Thank you, sir. What are we catching, the active one first? That must be what's going on.
You know what's interesting is I'm down 3-0 already, and in each case we've pulled up to a new reef. Josh has pulled up, dropped the trolling motor, made a cast, and caught a fish on the first cast. I don't know if that's front boating us or if we're just finding 1 active fish in this general area because we're not getting bit after that. Yay!
Oh no!
Did you break off?
Dude, he just pulled off. Dang, he just pulled off. Oh.
I'm glad I'm not down 4-1, but it is time to switch boats.
All right. God, I want to get back out there one more time.
And I have to admit, I was a bit nonchalant this morning. I figured drop shots were a great choice. I thought Josh made a great choice, and it was a thing that I personally wanted to fish. And pretty soon, he's got 4 fish or 3 fish in the boat, and he had another one on, and I haven't had a bite yet. In fact, I never had a bite today on drop shot. The big difference, I was shaking the bait down there, he was dragging it. Big difference in presentation, and there's a big difference in the results.
Sometimes a simple change is all it takes to get a lake commando rolling. And that was certainly the case with Steve Pennaz today. After getting shut out on the drop shot, Pennaz moved to the front of the boat, picked up the Pro Grub, and immediately started putting bass in the boat.
Fish, fish, fish.
In a matter of minutes, this commando battle was right back where we started.
You know what's great about this one?
What's that, buddy?
Is we're tied up.
I knew you were going to say that.
Not a giant, but you know what? I'm gonna take it right now. I need numbers, but just look at how thick these fish are. They're just extremely well fed, even a little beefy thing like this. But these aren't the fish we're looking for. Fish. This one is the one I've been waiting for all day. Not a giant. Oh. On the white, baby. On the white.
Good job. Oh, he
and look at
choked it
that
too.
You know, we're on a little 6-foot hump right here, but it drops to 13 literally on the cast, and this fish ate on the drop. I got a feeling this is not the only one right here. But look at these fish here, just so well fed. But again, we're getting more males than females. These females, they're post-spawn, they're just not all that fired up. But you know what? It makes it more special when you get one. So, and somebody's in the lead. Ooh.
I can't believe it.
You know, when you're fishing two finesse techniques like we're using right now, swimming a grub and drop shotting, and we're not getting bit.
Things are tough. Things are tough right now. There it is.
There's a fish. Good one.
It feels okay. I think it's swimming to us.
Swimming at you.
Ooh.
Bruiser. Got it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice fish. There's a 4+.
I'll tell you, I was about to fall asleep, but I'm awake now.
That's a 4+.
Oh, look at the shoulder.
Giant.
Look at the belly.
Giant fish. The more I fish across the country, the more I realize that the swimming grub is a deadly smallmouth bait. It mimics mayfly hatches, the little larvae. They mimic baitfish, they mimic leeches, they mimic shad. This is one of those baits that's a must-have in any smallmouth angler's tackle box. The traditional way to fish a grub is to cast it out on a fairly heavy jig, let it sink to the bottom, bring it back up, let it fall, let that ribbon tail kind of swim. What I've learned from great anglers like Scott Suggs and others is to cast it as far as you can, let it sink down, and bring it on a steady retrieve. This is one of those techniques that's going to work with small swim baits as well. The swim baits tend to ride it a little bit higher with the paddle tails versus the ribbon tails, but I tell you what, it's a deadly technique on waters across the country, spring, summer, winter, or fall.
After Bertrand's hot start with the drop shot and Steve's comeback with the grub, this Commando showdown could go either way.
Yeah, dude. That was a lucky fish right there. That's a nice one, too.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Yeti, built for the wild. Berkeley pro Josh Bertrand and Steve Pennaz are locked in a Commando classic, but with the big lake laying down, the bite is getting tougher by the minute.
A little bit over halfway through our day here, and it's been a grind of a day. You know, we've had some bites, but they've been spaced out, and you know, it seems like every time we start to figure something out, we go 30 minutes without a bite and have to make another adjustment. I was probably a little bit too reluctant to pull the grub out at first. I was trying to make him eat a swim bait, and he got a couple fish up on me. I'm gonna have to stick with this, but probably for the rest of the day, just try to grind it out. And you know, I'm watching where he's casting, and I'm trying to hit some other lanes and other areas where he's not casting. I know when he throws through a good, you know, across a good reef, if there's an active fish, that fish is gonna take it. So I'm, you know, maybe trying to hit a couple different angles, and I know he's leaving a couple fish back, and I've still got a chance to get back in this. Little bitty power grub.
Wow.
Beautiful fish.
Great fish.
Heck yeah. Good call on this reef, man.
Like Josh, I'm a huge fan of nanofill. There is no better casting line on the market today, and when you need to cover water, and in clear water you need to make long casts, nanofill really is the ticket. But I didn't fish nanofill today when I was throwing a grub, and I'll tell you why. One of the things I like about fluorocarbon is that it sinks. When I'm swimming a grub, I really like to throw it on fluorocarbon. Not only is it invisible, it helps keep that bait down when I'm fishing it slow.
All right.
Nah, you counting that? That's in a tournament, that wouldn't count.
It depends.
I got one. I got a real one. About the same size as yours.
Technically, this is a double.
Yeah, it is.
Technically.
Yep, up shallow.
Today we had kind of an in-between depth range where you could get away with fishing some reaction stuff, like we did with the swimming grubs, but it was also a great depth for fishing a drop shot, you know, and the fish definitely responded to it. We caught some fish on it. It maybe wasn't the absolute best technique for the day, but it was a technique that definitely worked. Drop shotting is a technique that I learned fishing out west. You know, you grew up in Arizona, you know, and you fish tournaments, you're gonna have to be a decent drop shotter. And it's one thing that just goes hand in hand fishing for these smallmouth. In my opinion, I think it's the best technique for catching smallmouth in clear water ever.
You need the net?
Stay on. Yeah, sure, just because
Yep.
I'm being serious about this here. All right. Oh! All right.
On the white,
Thank
baby.
you. That's cool. I switched. I saw you catching those fish.
That's good. We got one off this reef.
Heck
I like
yeah.
that.
First cast on this reef, right?
Was it?
Yeah, yeah. Power grub. That's the 4-inch right there, isn't it?
Yeah. One of my favorite baits. That thing catches everything.
One real important thing when you're rigging up any type of grub or curly tail bait, to keep that hook from constantly getting stuck in the tail, I like to rig the tail facing down. You know, when it swims through the water, it's still gonna have that great action, but on the cast, it's really gonna, that fends against, you know, the tail wrapping up in the hook and wasting a cast.
Like a lot of anglers, I'll add mono or fluorocarbon to a super line when fishing clear water. It's not that I'm afraid of line-shy fish, though they can be. Rather, I do it for other reasons. When throwing cranks, for example, a short length of stiffer fluoro can help eliminate hooks tangling with the line during the cast. For years, I used the uni-to-uni knot to attach leader material to super line. It's an easy knot to tie, it's actually kind of fun, and it provides good strength on medium break strength lines. But I'm always looking to improve, so when I heard about a new splicing knot called the Bob Foreign, I had to check it out. Here's how you tie it. Run both lines parallel with the leader material doubled as shown. Make a loop. Now run the tag ends through the loop 5 times. As you tighten, the knot will form a figure 8 before cinching tight. Trim each tag end, and there's going to be 4 of them. Hey, I've yet to test this knot in a knot testing machine, but the strength does appear superior. In field testing, it's been very positive. I suggest you give the knot a try.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley Trilene, anglers trust Berkeley Trilene. Yeti, built for the wild. And by Aquaview, see what's really down there.
We pulled up on the flats today that were massive, hundreds and hundreds of acres, but we were able to break them down before we actually got on the flat by looking at the map. One of the biggest advancements in fishing in my lifetime clearly is the mapping packages offered by companies like Garmin. They tell you so much when you learn how to read these things. One of the things that we found in building the pattern today was to look for fast breaking areas where it went from shallow water to deep in a relatively tight time frame. We could pull up to a flat, pull up the map on the Garmin and say, here's a spot that has this, here's another spot that has this, and it allowed us to fish faster and more efficiently, and that's where we found most of our fish today. Woo! Woo, yeah! It's a nice one. Good job, no, stay out of the water.
Oh, I thought he'd come off.
Ooh, nice net job. Yes!
Oh, look at that. Look how dark that guy is.
Is that a stud or what?
Oh, man. Nice fish, dude. That is beautiful.
That's what Pennaz was looking for right there. You know, I love getting in a boat with an angler who's as talented and as experienced as Josh. He came out today and fished a drop shot in a manner that I just simply have not fished it. And he kicked my butt with the drop shot. And I learned something today that I'm gonna carry with me for the rest of my life on how to fish drop shots in ways that I hadn't done it before. Nice.
I'm coming with the net.
Nice, don't jump. You could come home. Frabel likes you. Yeah, baby.
Got him. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. He's better than I thought.
Not bad at all.
Today, color made a big difference. Green pumpkin was by far the best, at least in terms of drop shotting, and it also worked for grub patterns. I really enjoy a tough bite. I think you learn more in a tough bite, and when you get into a tough bite, I think you appreciate eat fish more. Today, every bite was important. This was a stiff competition. It went right down to the wire, and those are the types of days I love to have on the water. Well, I got bad news for you. But I want to tell you what, I had a ball. I hope you had a ball. We had a good day today.
It was.
Tough bite, but you know what? We figured it out. We figured out a good bite today.
Yeah, I mean, what, we catch 20 fish today on a brutally tough day. 20 doesn't sound brutal, but
4 giants. Those are nice smallies.
that made my day. I'd fish all day for one of those.
Well, thanks for going commando, and I tell you what, let's go grab a burger.
Awesome, awesome. Sounds good. It was a blast.
Hey, if you want to win what works for us, visit lakecommandos.com or check us out on Facebook.
I'm Captain George Mitchell. This is Coastal Chaos. Never before has technology really hit home in fishing. What I'm talking about is a real game changer. It's the Yamaha Helmmaster system, a totally integrated boat control system. With just 2 fingers, I can totally control all 3 outboards and perform maneuvers that were never possible before. How many times have you needed that extra hand when you're either offshore or maybe at the fuel dock? Hey folks, we're fishing off of Southeast Florida, and it's a multi-species opportunity day. The primo bait for the area is a fresh dead ballyhoo. We want this thing to swim when we want to, but yet we also want it to skip across the wave tops. Now to get just that perfect presentation, you may need to speed up or slow down a little bit, depending on the sea and the wind conditions. And with the Helmmaster's speed control feature, it gives you complete control. One thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're doing it just right, and with speed control we can do that. This is really a game changer when it comes to docking, getting on the trailer, positioning boats for catching bait, positioning the boat for deploying the baits, positioning the boat to catch the fish. It's all about enjoyment, folks. And with the Yamaha Helmmaster Total Boat Control System, the whole day's enjoyable. Got a good one, huh? Attaboy, good work. Coastal Chaos, tips for serious saltwater anglers.